saying about how I just played a game that was actually quite good quality, even though it was only 3 minutes. And, it was a very well played game, according to the computer, at least. And then got to an end game. I was like slightly worse, but I had about 20 seconds left and he had about 45. So I was like rushing. And then I was worse. I was lost. But I managed to turn it around. And then I had I was only a pawn up, right? And I had 6 seconds left. And I managed to make him. I think I played 30 moves in 6 seconds for pre-moving. So yeah, wow. it was quite good. Yeah, it was an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, no, and was that 3-1 or 3-2 that you were playing?
No, just 3 flat 3.
Oh, 3 flat. Oh, yeah. Right, okay. So you would.
Well, that's why when I was down to 15 seconds, I was like, I better stop moving, because
that's pretty much why. That's why I don't bother playing that, because it's different though playing that on live chess and chess.com though, right? Because on chess.com you can pre-move more than one move ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't do it on live chess, but at least if you're in a winning position, technically winning, you can pre-move to the end, if you're winning by a lot. So. Whereas
live chess, you can only do one move, and therefore you run out of time pretty quickly for it all. All right, well let's make an official start then. So we'll do a little countdown just so people can see. And welcome everybody. So to the official start.
That was a good one.
You like that one?
That was better than the other one.
You like that?
Yeah.
Welcome to the official start of the Welsh Chess Chat. It's the 9th of November, 2023. I've actually got the month correct today. Amazing. So welcome to another episode. I'm Field Master Jonathan Blackburn. We've got a lot to discuss. Calendar ratings will take less time, hopefully, than last week, but there's still some very important things to look at there. I'm joined by FIDE Master Johan Rees. Hello, Johan.
Hello.
And how many Blitz games of 3-0 have you played today?
Too many. I was meant to do. That's why I'm still in a shirt and tie.
Does it maybe make you feel better though when you're playing Blitz, but you're in a shirt and tie? Do you feel more professional?
My rating did not go up. I was thought,
That's an interesting question, though. Do you think that we should start turning up to our games in a full-on suit and everything, and on that Top Gear trio, they had your name here to try and advertise our suits for sponsorship opportunities, or on another point, do you think maybe we should start turning up looking super smart anyway? Would that have two impacts? It would make our opponent think that we're serious. And treat us seriously, or B, would it make us play better because we feel more serious because of the clothes that we wear?
I'm going to try it out this weekend, John. Just
okay, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe
I'm going to wear not a tie. I'll wear blazer.
I quite like the combi you got on. Actually, I quite like.
What are those things called that? This is how posh I am, right? So, what are those things called that they don't have arms on them, but they kind of
the things snooker players wear?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what are those called?
Waistcoats.
There you go. I'll bring a waistcoat.
I'm so excited for the weekend now, Johan.
I'm very excited.
Blazer
but I'm not even
Saturday, waistcoat Sunday, I reckon. Or the other way around. What do you think?
Well, Alex, welcome. How are you, Alex, knowing that one of your potential teammates might be dressed like that at the weekend?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'm going to be wearing this hoodie both days, so we'll be a great pair.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe we'll come to the section for you in a bit, but I will be asking you. That's the Foreign CL preview that's coming up this weekend. But do we have a dress code for our team? Should we have one?
People should wear clothes. I think that's advisable.
Is it in the rules?
Is it in the rules? I guess so.
Probably. Speaking of rules, right? Weren't we going to look up about the audible checks? Has anyone done that?
Well, it probably comes under distracting your opponent if it's super loud, right? But saying it is, I think, just a bit childish, isn't it? But it's completely fine. It's legal.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody's asking this. Does Johan have a I'm sorry. You're another job interview after the stream.
Yeah, with John, he's going to employ me to coach his overspill of students.
Yeah, basically, you've seen that email, have you? That I forwarded
as
on.
long as I pass the interview.
Yeah, this is his interview. Actually, I do have something for you in December. Actually, it's coming up early December. So one of the things that you have to pay for it a little bit, but FIDE do like their trainer's license or whatever. You don't learn anything on the weekend. You have to sit there listening to hours upon hours of stuff that you already know. But then you have to pass some sort of exam that you could pass before you even do the thing. And they put it on as an official FIDE registered trainer and license. So it might be worthwhile you just doing it just so you've got it on your FIDE record. So I'll make sure to forward that on. If I forget, please let me know.
You didn't tell that, John. You just said it's really boring. It's like a complete waste of your time. You already know it. Yeah, you're one. You've got nothing better to do. You can do that.
Well, actually, it's quite serious, actually. So, so the reason why it's come about is because I think some people, it might be Rob Wilmoth, possibly Tim Wall. They've got their EJCOA Trainers Commission thing for majority of England / possibly Wales coaches. What's it called? The England Junior Chess something. I don't know. But they basically collected all of the coaches across the country and put us all into one. So they've got a bigger buying power to FIDE. So rather than this course being, I don't know, £200 normally or something, or you have to fly somewhere to actually take it, they're doing it all online, and we actually get a cheaper rate. So it's only like, I think £110. I think I've paid for this thing. But like one of the questions last time, and it triggered me a little bit. I was like, hang on a minute, is that right? Is that wrong? How should you treat boys and girls differently when teaching chess?
No.
And I was just like, what? You're not meant to, I guess in this day and age, you maybe back 20, 30 years, that's an acceptable question to have on something, but actually it's not really accurate. You shouldn't really treat them any differently at all. But that is actually a legitimate question. And actually
it wasn't a trick question.
No, well, I don't think so. I mean, I decided to answer it because I did actually see in my clubs a difference between some of the girls and some of the boys and how they acted. And you need to encourage the girls a lot more to be, to play a bit more aggressively and to go for the win sometimes. And it's it's not a question that should be on there. They're not coming at it from that point of view. They're coming at it as in you should treat them differently, which is
FIDE, right?
Yes, it's FIDE.
Yeah. Well, women don't have rights in a lot of countries they operate in, so it's not...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you think about it, it is a worldwide thing, isn't it? And we have to take that actually in most countries. Women don't have equal rights. Is that right? Is that most countries, or?
I wouldn't say most, but some. I mean, I don't think they're even allowed to play chess in Saudi Arabia, right? They have 0 women members or something like that. So
it's crazy, isn't it? There was also a study done as well about where actually better female chess players come from, and they actually come from states where they don't have equal rights, which is quite weird compared to those where they do. So maybe women don't choose to play chess in when they have a choice. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird study, to be honest. But yeah, okay. Well, I guess me and Johan can both be on it and on that course, and you're just ticking a box basically. Right. Anyway, let's move on. We've got lots to get through, and I really want to have a look at your 4NCL preview, Alex. But we've got a few other things to go through first of all. And actually, the one thing that I haven't actually loaded up is the Welsh Chess Union website. So let's have a look here. I've got so many things open here to talk about. So okay, let's have a look at the calendar. Has anything changed? Obviously, big news actually though this weekend. So this weekend we've got the West Wales Congress. Clashes with the 4NCL, so people aren't in it. Let's just have a look at the entrance to see if they've been updated. So big battle at the top between Alexis and Tim, and then quite a few other people that can definitely make a dent there, which is good to see. That up to 26. I think there's a lot more than last time.
Yeah. Looks and better, then doesn't it? Yeah,
25 in the major as well, which is quite good to see. A lot of juniors in this section going through. So good to see it. And they've also got a minor as well with 21 in it too. So that's quite good numbers, actually.
That's really good considering the 4NCL and stuff's on, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't actually know how many players the 4NCL would take away from them, but okay, yeah. So we've got quite a lot of teams, haven't we? So we'll come on to that in a second. Okay, so yeah, I don't know much about this Bill Davis. We have to play in Wrexham. I want to see who the entrants are for that. Any new stuff on the calendar? And I am whizzing through at the moment because we've got so much to talk about. This is all the same.
Unless there's anything new, we might as well just have a quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so up to date. We shouldn't be expecting things to appear every week, right?
No, we shouldn't. No. So that's done. Let's move on to the most important section of the chat, Alex, which is the ratings.
No, you making that joke is pointless.
So a few differences here at the top. Oh, well, if I click on new, obviously I still lost points. I haven't played, though. A few people gaining points here. I don't know how Richard's gaining points. We'll look at that in a second. Maybe that's the draw with me as to why he's gained points. So not much change at the top. Tim's gaining 26, which is good.
Alex is down.
Alex
down
is
from
down
his
now.
starting rating. He was up like 40 or something before.
Mr. Bullen, games have gone on.
Depressed. It's got to me, hasn't it?
If we look at the amount played, I didn't see that coming.
Whoa, Josh caught up. What has he done?
Go on, Josh McKenna. Go on, son.
In a week, he's pulled back like 6 or 7 games.
He's also playing, I think he's playing like league friendlies, well, not friendly games, but league games against juniors and stuff as well in North Cardiff, perhaps. So they're actually, if they're rated and he's happy for them to be rated, then he's just getting his games in, isn't he? And he's playing through it. And as we discussed,
to find out what the record is, like most games played in a year.
Do you know what? I think that would actually be something we should definitely try and investigate. There's probably some rating officers watching that can tell us about that. But okay, with his his current rating being so high, he's losing a lot of rating. But I think what we kind of discussed about the batch ratings last time is that when it comes around again, January, he'll have a lower rating, so he'll gain loads. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he plays a lot better than 1594. So if his rating was published at that, you'd be gaining 160 points, and eventually you find your level, right?
So, but I mean, well done to Josh for catching up with Tim Cat. And
I feel like I don't know, but was the minus bigger before, as in like pulling it back a bit? But I don't know. You know,
I can click on and we can see where these games are actually coming in from.
He played last night. I saw him down the club.
He played in Whitney
every night, doesn't he, to get this many games? Oh, he played in Whitney. Wow.
No, he's gone down because he was 1600 here. He's come down, but that's some effort though. That's
a lot of games, isn't it? Wow.
It's great. I hope he's analysing all these games. Imagine your chess-based files. Like you got 62 games in the past few months. I mean, it'd just be exploding, wouldn't they?
It's too much work just to analyse the games. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I from my summer, I remember I was tired, and I still haven't analysed every game in detail enough. So, and my summer was I'm not even the top. I'm not even the top anymore. I'm down here like 24 games, and I was shattered from it.
Yeah, I overtook you. Result.
Oh, you're overtaking me.
Yeah.
Well, of course you would do, though. Yeah, 30 games. Yeah. Well, these guys, fantastic effort from both of them. And, well, it's a race till Christmas now, isn't it? Race till New Year to see who can get the most games in. and take the trophy.
Whoever's top of Christmas usually goes on to win it. So,
unless you're in Hastings. Okay, this feels like it's got a bit of a change here. This difference as well. Obviously, lots of juniors up there. Louise, wasn't she like there like last 6 months ago as well? Doing really well.
74. What? That's recent though as well. I swear last week she wasn't top.
That must be recent because what's happened here? French to English. Oh, St. Lo. So this was third of the. So she played in this tournament, and so the Davies must have been over in. I'm guessing this is France. Rencontres du Cap d'Agde.
Sounds good though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and she gains.
I bet there's some decent wine over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were telling me that they take it a bit more relaxed over there as well, but she's gained 230 points from this tournament.
Wow. What? How is that possible? Like, that's nuts.
Well, because she's got such a low rating.
Wow.
gets results against these players rated 1200 or so, I mean, it looks like these people have been rated at 1199. Is that right? Is that column?
It looks like an estimated
rating. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
An estimated rating. So it might be new. I don't know anything about them, but fair play. You know, traveling around playing chess. I mean, it's the dream, isn't it? Really. And they're doing it at such a young age. So well done to Louise. She's currently mopping up points, and so are many juniors there. And well done to Vince for not being a junior but gaining loads of points as well. So okay, yeah. So we've got these ratings. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back loads now to get back to the Welsh Chess Union website and back again. And we also have the live junior rapid play ratings, which I know the reason why these are published now, and that's because basically if you've got these children playing rapid play tournaments, and they're only playing rapid play tournaments, you need something to rate them by. So I believe that John Thornton's been doing a lot of fantastic work on keeping this up to date for so long. Of course, as they get to this rating and they start to play in longer play classical tournaments, it becomes less relevant. But especially towards this bottom end, when if you think about it, you're like 8, 9, 10 years old. You're playing in like a school tournament against somebody else, and it's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 games, or sometimes 5 games, depending how it is. And that's all you do for the whole year, right? Then at some point you're going to need a rating, and that will help. I'm guessing Ian used to select a team for Wales, but also possibly the county organisers when we used to have. I mean, do they still have county v county matches down there? I don't think they do at the moment, but it's something that was obviously done in the past. So yeah, there's a lot of time and effort that's gone into keeping these up to date. So a lot of names here and a lot of games being played. Well, a lot of games been played in the past. Hopefully in the future, in the next year or so, this takes off and is even busier than it was before. We look forward to seeing many of them transition into playing classical chess as well in big tournaments, which will be really good to see. So yeah, these guys, one of the things that we mentioned last week, obviously we had some disagreement about some things, but the ratings are, you know, all the Welsh Chess Union officers are volunteers doing a lot of work. And I believe that as well, the ratings can actually take quite a lot of work to do. So we're just scratching our heads trying to see how we can improve things. And one suggestion that I came up with that maybe you two didn't think was too completely absurd was, do we know why the Welsh Chess Union, why we rate games that are played outside of Wales? And maybe that could be something that cuts down the workload of the rating officers for ourselves. Do you, either of you to have anything to say about that idea or not?
I mean, I think if rating officers are like, you know, they're not getting paid, they're volunteers and stuff, they shouldn't be responsible for going hunting for games everywhere, right? It should just be made easy for you.
Yeah.
Like if it was your job, then yeah, okay, do some work. But like, you know, if they're volunteering, then it should be made as easy as possible for them. They shouldn't have to be hunting through games in tournaments here and there and stuff. It should just be like sent in nicely on a spreadsheet or something, and
yeah,
you pop it into a formula, job done, I'd imagine. Like, but as close to that as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Alex?
Yeah, I agree with the idea, to be honest. I think it comes down to what the rating officers want to do, right? Like if they want to grade games from everywhere else, then crack on, I suppose. Like,
yeah,
I don't know whose decision it is. But, you know, I'm sure it's, if people want the games to be done from any game played and the rating officers are happy to do it, then fine. But for me, it doesn't seem as important, right? Because English games, you have an English rating for. Games abroad, you have a FIDE rating, so they're kind of covered already.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's people playing in Wales and only playing in Wales that need some sort of rating. So, and I really like having a Welsh rating as well. But I'm just thinking,
like 200 points higher than your.
It is one of my highest ratings, yeah. But no, I do like having one though too. It's, you know, it's something that we shouldn't definitely lose. But you know, you've got one guy here doing basically 4 jobs by the looks of things, Paul Orton, and obviously Dave Norris and Ben Rowland's putting a lot of time and effort in making sure it's up to date. And it is a lot of work for them. So I'm just thinking of ways to try and make it easy for them. And I've kind of got something else as well that's quite important. So one of the things that I did hear on the grapevine a while ago, that, you know, when England transitioned from their 3-digit rating to their 4-digit rating. I do believe that they actually sought some advice from the Welsh Chess Union rating officers or something like that. Did you two hear about that at all or not? I don't know.
I didn't know that they changed from like that 3-number thing.
You're not even in the world yet, are you? Did you hear about that, Alex, or not? I don't know.
I didn't, but I'm not surprised because I assume it would have been Robert Taylor back then.
Yeah, it could have been
the guru of all things ratings. So
yeah,
it would have been a good one to speak to.
They sought our advice on that, and I'm just trying to think of how you can try and streamline this kind of rating kind of process and make it easier for these guys. And actually, one of the things that England brought out when I used my North Staffordshire League is they've got everything on this LMS thing, league management system. So what I've been told is that basically people just fill this all in online themselves after the games happen, and I think it just goes directly through to it's automatic.
We have that.
You have that?
Yeah. When a league match or something gets submitted, no one has to send it to the rating officer. They automatically get it.
All right. So that happens already?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know. Is it on the website like this?
Well, it's not that one, but it's a website.
All right. Okay. Do all of the leagues in South Wales use it?
No. I think they all have their own.
Hey?
Well, we submit ours to the East Glam website, and then it pings an email to the rating officer. So there's no point someone from West Wales filling out one on the East Glam website. It's the wrong league.
But it doesn't. So you've got 3 different. But it's not a centralized system, though, is it? Or is it? Okay, so this is a centralized system that I guess the English Chess Federation are using to streamline all of the ratings, and it might just be something that maybe we could do across Wales, to make things easier. And you could even have tournaments on here as well, I think too. So I'm not a rating guru at all. I know very little about this stuff, and also how internet and stuff works in the back end. Alex, you're our guru, but I mean, it's just suggestions at the moment to try and help out. I don't know if it works, but another point that I want you to notice is that we're joint top of the league. Woo!
But you got dropped, right? So that's why you're out of the league.
Yeah, we're not complete top of the league. Well, I guess assuming that I would win my game if I did play. Yeah, I got dropped for the past 2 games, and we won. We won on Tuesday night, actually. Do you know the audacity of it? My mum dropped me, and then had the audacity to ask me to go and pick her up if my dad didn't finish a game in time. So that's how rude it was. But yeah, this is my local league. Next on the agenda, by the way, was World Seniors and Small Nations. We'll come back to that because I just want to flick through these. So we do have Small Nations was won by Andorra. Do you guys think that we should class as a small nation?
Yeah, I mean, we are a small nation, right?
We're small, and I think we're small, and we wouldn't be out of place there. Right?
I mean, how small are we talking? What countries are in it?
Andorra won it.
Yeah.
Faroe Islands normally win it, and they would both be stronger than us quite comfortably.
Yeah.
But then you've got teams like Jersey, Guernsey, Malta, Cyprus, San Marino.
Okay. So I think if Cyprus are there, then yeah, Malta. These are kind of the Faroe Islands and stuff. Let me have a look at the list.
Excuse me, Monaco.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose they are kind of smaller than us, but I think Cyprus and Malta, I feel, are quite big, aren't they?
Well, I think there was an application to FIDE to get us classed as a small nation, and I don't think it was obviously successful. But we're tiny, as in chess, compared to some of these countries, but maybe not in GDP or size, perhaps, or something as to why we don't qualify. And
you'd think Iceland would be there as well, wouldn't you? They'd be strong. Maybe they feel like they're too strong for it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know what the benefit is apart from playing in this tournament of being a small nation.
Well,
is there any other benefit?
It's probably just a nice event, right? I mean,
yeah, probably is.
Yeah,
it's one of those events. I imagine, say, if we were a small nation, that I would put this as a priority rather than playing like European.
Oh yeah,
the one we're sending the team to. This would be for me much.
Well, I mean, it looks like quite a cozy place where they were sat. So these are some of the participants, and I'm guessing arbiters
Probably
maybe.
a good atmosphere as well. I bet because
Yeah.
there are not many people there. I bet they all get on quite well.
Yeah, they've got the flags up there.
They're just worried about us rocking up and winning, weren't they? They wouldn't-
Bringing all the big guns over. Yeah. Okay. Small nations. It would be nice to be part of that, and it would give us more opportunity to play in obviously a European thing. But I mean, I guess if we have to self-fund, maybe it's cheaper to go to that one than it is to go to the other one. I don't know. Because
what country it's in. If it's in like a lot of these small nations are like well expensive actually.
Yeah. So
Monte Carlo or something, right?
Yeah.
So I do wonder then if if maybe it is cheaper to go to that one, or FIDE gives some sort of funding because you're a small nation, which would be quite nice for us to actually attend. Because don't get me started on Budva and everything else going on there. Yeah, I get too angry.
Has it started yet? It's soon, isn't it?
Very soon. Very soon. Mr. Varley did. We actually think he did very well in the 65 plus. He might have lost some rating. He won his last game. So how many points did he get? 6 points out of 11. So over 50% is still a really good score. And there's picked out here in his opponents that he played. He's played 2 international masters here, and they were rated over 2,000. Only just over 2,000, 2073, 2016. So he's lost to 2 IMs and lost like 26, 27 points there. That is really harsh for Peter Varley. So,
well, if you add the GM above, it's like over 30 points for losing to
the
GM, isn't it?
It's just 6. So yeah, we think he's done quite well, and quite pleased to see him over there. You might have seen in the news for everybody else that the English contingent did win it in the end. What was the final ranking cross table then? Was it joint winner, like in tie breaks and stuff? John Nunn
won on tie break, didn't he?
8, yeah, he won a tie break from Lubomir. So he won that one, so it was jointly winner. And then Michael Adams in the 50 plus final ranking cross table, joint winner as well, but won it on tie break. On tie break 3 as well. It wasn't on tie break 2. Not that, and it's only by half a point as well. Wow. Yeah, so well done to the 2 English guys. I sometimes really like the fact that England do quite well, but also sometimes I dislike the fact that England do quite well. Where do you two stand on this?
I think it's good they take it seriously, to be honest. It's all fun saying I hope the English lot don't win it, but
yeah,
Mickey Adams and John Nunn's pretty cool.
It's pretty nuts that they wanted to play, really, I think. Adams, I mean, at least, because he's so much higher than everyone else. Yeah.
I mean, he must have lost rating. We know that John Nunn lost 8 points or something like that, which is... So he lost 6 points, Michael Adams did as well. But, I mean, when you're playing against GMs who've tripped a load of rating there, you don't lose positional sense, do you? And it doesn't go away from you that much. You think about it, they're only 50 plus. I'm not actually that far away from that,
Will you go?
Depends if there's funding. If I'm selected. I'll be 50 plus before you, so I guess I'll get in. Okay, the next thing on the agenda, by the way, was to have a look at... So one thing that Alex did great last week was to have a look at the Welsh leagues and the local leagues. Was that last week? The week before?
Yeah, last week.
Who knows? Yeah, we'll say last week. So the other thing that we didn't say, we've got obviously North Wales teams that also play. So we've got some teams playing in the Chester and District League. So we've got Colwyn Bay, Rhyl Prestatyn and Wrexham. Not started too well, Wrexham, in this league, which is surprising because they're actually a really strong team. So we'll have a look at some results in a second. And it looks like they've got some second teams going on here, which is great to see, actually. In the Chester League, there's basically 3 Welsh teams in the top division and 2 from Chester, which is crazy, right?
Small league, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really, really tiny league, but it's actually quite strong. So if you have a look at some of the results, and this is why I was a bit surprised. That's Chester 1 versus Chester 2. John Carlton, actually, by the way, don't be deceived by his 2091 rating. He's probably getting on age-wise, but he used to be over 2,300 FIDE. When I went to... He played in the Liverpool League for a long time. And my first few weeks, and when I moved to Liverpool to be at university, I beat him in my first game. And then for the next 5 years, he proceeded to beat me in majority of the games and every time we played. We played for the same team, just on opposite teams. So he's very, very strong. But yeah, this was the result that surprised me. And Colwyn Bay, have you got some prodigies over there or something? What is going on? Can you guys see that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Just like, what happened here?
Well, I mean, that game hasn't been rated, right? Because Richard Diney was apparently +2, and he's just lost to a 1700. So
yeah, so I think when they find that one and put it in, because this was played in Wales because it was in Wrexham. Although I guess depending where in Wrexham it's played, is part of it outside.
See, this raises a point on your question about only games in Wales being rated.
Yeah, because haven't they got the football stadium that's literally on the border as well, which is quite funny.
And you say, oh, the rating officers have got too much to do, and they're on Google Maps trying to work out where the venue is.
Literally, where do we drop the pin? Actually, when he checkmated you, that part of the board was inside Wales. You go down there. So yeah, surprise result here. They didn't lose the match though for Wrexham when they at least drew with them, but I guess well played to Colwyn Bay. You know, I mean, they would not be expecting to get that result, I guess, against two people rated over 2,000. But Will and Dennis, you know, well, fair play to you. Love to see the games and what happened. And we obviously got Colwyn Bay 2 here, which is good to see. Some players, Hugh Davis. I think I know Darren actually, so I'll have to get in touch with him. He's playing again. Chester 3. We're not bothered about Chester. Joe, I know that Gary is a watcher as well. That's against Paul Taylor. I just thought I'd show a few of the names. I don't know, that fixture must have gone. And then Colwyn versus Rill. So here, Mohammed Ayad, Gareth Ellis. That's a name that I've heard about, and Chris Greer I know quite well.
Top two boards didn't repeat.
No, they
lost.
Wow. Yeah, they lost these two, but then beat the 2000s, which is pretty good. And then yeah, Wrexham here lost to Chester 1, which that must be like the top match though. Wrexham 1 versus Chester 1 with the ratings anyway. So that's quite interesting. I don't have to board 6 here though. I think Ethan Chalmers, isn't he a Welsh junior?
I was thinking that as well. I know the name. I didn't realise he was right up north though.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know him at all. Apart from one of the Welsh training weekends that I've probably seen him on, but it looks like he's playing for Chester and getting some games in Division 1, which is good to see. Okay, we'll move on from that because we've not just got Wrexham, Rill and Prestatyn, Colwyn Bay playing in leagues. We've also got a Oswestry team playing in the Shropshire League as well. And this is Oswestry's website, which is just having some individual results. You can see here we've got the VKs down over here. So Julie VK, Rudy VK, and they've just kind of reported the results like this on the website, which is a bit interesting. I think there's maybe more points than this. I don't think it's up to date. Gary S, is that Gary? You again, perhaps? AIGJ. I mean, I don't even know who that is. Who's AIGJ?
Artificial intelligence.
Good job. But yeah, and this is a bit of an easier way to see it. It might be a little bit white and pale, but you can see here that we've got Oswestry A. They played 2 matches. They have actually won 1 and lost 1 as well. So sitting mid-table at the moment against all of these other Telepost, Telford, Shrewsbury, Newport. That's not Welsh Newport, though, is it? That's the English Newport. Yeah, it does need more colours. I agree. Thank you very much. Yeah, I agree with that. It does need more colours. It's a little bit pasty. And you can see some of the match results here as well. Oh, actually, we can see how Oswestry got on, can't we? So they lost to Telford A. Rudy lost. Somebody, Loic Higgy, drew. Richard Bryant plays for a Welsh team. And Julie lost as well. But they must have won a game. They beat Shrewsbury A here. So they beat a default team. Oh. That's a shame. 5-0. Well, a win's a win. If you turn up, you turn up. You know, fair enough. All right, guys, that takes us up for the roundup of the other teams. I don't believe there's any more teams north that play in any other leagues. If there are more, then I'll put them on next week if they tell me about them, or we'll find them at some point in the future. So we've covered the seniors, covered the small nations, North Wales teams. Alex, over to you for the 4NCL preview. And I've managed to blitz through all that, and it's only 34 minutes past. We've got plenty of time. I've been waiting for this ever since you told me you've got a PowerPoint presentation with slides on. I'm so excited. Johan, you were expressing your delight earlier on as well.
Yeah, I love a PowerPoint. This is where he says he doesn't know. I also want to know stuff about 4NCL since I'm playing in it. So.
Yeah, you probably need to know. I do actually also like your gloves today, Johan, as well. I think they're.
You can still play chess, but stay warm. You know.
It is. Hang on a minute. Are you like? You're gonna be like a cat burglar after this. You think you burgle somebody with those gloves on or something? I don't know. What's going on?
Wow, that's fancy, isn't it? Look at that.
Oh, so my screen can now be seen, I guess, because I now can't see either of you or anything else.
Yes, we can.
As I share my screen.
But, yeah, we can see everything fine, Alex.
Sweet. Well, 4NCL, Four Nations Chess League. I didn't even insert this photo, by the way. PowerPoint did it automatically. How cool is that? Yeah, so 4NCL this season, it's played, for anyone who doesn't know the format, across 5 weekends throughout the year. So it starts this approaching weekend in November, and it runs all the way through till that bank holiday we have at the end of May. We get to go to all kinds of great places like Milton Keynes, Telford, and of course Daventry right at the end. And anyone who's ever played 4NCL will be familiar with Daventry. So then a look ahead to the teams we have for. So I'm going to focus mostly on the Welsh teams, obviously, as this is Welsh Chess Chat. But I'm going to start in Division 1 just by looking at the defending champions, Manx Liberty. Just so show the strength of the 4NCL and I guess what the inspiration is for people who maybe want to get to play in Division 1 or even just to play in the same venue as some of these players. So Manx last season, they won it and they've got Mr. Shirov, a bit of a legend on top board, and they've even strengthened their team because they're obviously scared of some people with Rasmus and Frederick, who are, I think, both pretty young, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Prodigies. And I think Parlygrass used to play top board for them, and now if they're full strength, he'll be down the bottom. So they're very much the team to beat, and I think funded by the Isle of Man and Mr. Colbus, I imagine they'll be pretty difficult to beat.
They're going to be a small nation, aren't they?
Oh, they are going to be a small nation. Yeah. That's annoying though, isn't it? Because I've seen Colbus at the 4NCL weekends, and he's there like with his what do you call them, wads of cash, just like handing them out to his GMs before he leaves for a taxi. Like, sickening to watch it.
I used to play for one of these teams that paid and stuff. It was like quite good. Like it was good fun.
Which team was that?
The Sharks.
Okay.
So that funny story where even though paying stuff, there's still a team meal and things. And we were going to a team meal and I don't know, couldn't get taxis or something. So my dad had a people carrier and he squeezed like half the team into one trip and then half the team into the next trip. But there was actually like not enough seats. So I had like David Navarro sitting on my lap. It's like a really weird, really weird squished like in the back seat.
God, poor Navarro. That's not the only bad story I've heard about poor Navarro at 4NCL.
Well, I mean, actually, there's been some comments, haven't there, about the 4NCL being a cesspit of activity. So maybe that's what it's referring to.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on.
Also in Division 1, we do have some Welsh interest. I think, unless I missed someone, apologies. So I think we only have one player registered at the moment in Division 1, and that is our, Welsh number 1, Jose, playing for Chessable White Rose 1, who last season came very close to winning it. I know they were leading until the final weekend, and I know Jose got to play against Shirov in the big crunch match. Unfortunately, he came up short, but yeah, I think in terms of Division 1 team, I'd probably want White Rose 1 to do well and to push for it, just so I can see a Welshman get involved. So I think that's good to be represented, and we hope that he won't be the only Welshman in Division 1 for long, because we move on to Division 2, where we have a few familiar faces in this team. We have Welsh champion Daniel, multiple-time Welsh champion Tim, and some of these guys in between. I'm sure a bit rubbish, but we might pull through. But I think sort of I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but we definitely want to be getting back to Division 1 where we've been previously and rubbing shoulders with the guys we've just seen on the previous couple of slides.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good fun, really, is being beaten up by sort of GMs and IMs on Division 1.
But it's also a very good IM norm opportunity if you get the right board for it. It's like one of the few places that you can go, and because it's not your individual result that matters who you play next. You could get that high rating in every single game, and then therefore be able to get the IM norm that you need. And like in Swiss tournaments, when you yo-yo, you just can't get it.
No,
yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? And because I'm always amazed when you get towards the final weekend of the season, you see all the norm requirements. You see people, and you think they haven't even done particularly well that season. Obviously, they've played great people, so the score's not reflective. But yeah, it's, for these sort of people, it's where they want to be. Of course, who knows? John, you and I might be making norms next season, right?
Well, that's the plan, isn't it? That's the plan where we want to be. You just want to put yourself in a position where you're in touching distance of it going into the last weekend, and then anything can happen. You roll the dice, and I'm hoping that I think we need to get a little bit of luck go our way, but it is possible. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, quite right. You roll the dice or get out the Colbus wads of cash and just bribe all your opponents, right?
I mean, you shouldn't really joke about that because that is seriously how every other league seems to operate, and maybe has actually happened in our league. You know, the amount of times that I mean, I haven't actually had it happen to me. Maybe I've never been in that position.
Nobody needs to bribe you, Jonathan.
No, I know. It's whether I need to bribe somebody else, maybe. Have you ever seen any of that, Johan, on your travels? Because I know you played a little bit in Europe.
No, nothing.
I've heard a story when I played Zagreb Open in the last round. Some guy wanted to win like best under 2200. It was a serious prize, and apparently he was playing some IM in the last round. The IM's phone went off and he got defaulted, and he like stood up and started screaming. And I didn't speak Croatian, but it was translated for me. And he was basically saying, "You're defaulting me, and I turned down a bribe. This guy, he wanted to pay for the title. Now you're giving it to him for free. Like, I should have just taken the bribe if this is the way we're going to operate." And just went on a run. So I don't know if he was annoyed about it, but no one else seemed surprised at the accusation. Put it that way.
I did see a Twitter post actually recently about somebody calling out somebody. It might have been a Croatian league and another league next to it, where some guy actually played 2 games on the same day and they were both draws, or something like that. So these pre-arranged draws in matches sometimes are also up for debate too. But hopefully it doesn't happen in our league. But I mean, who knows? It might do.
Who knows? So then we go on to the purest of the Welsh teams in Fuensil. And Johan, I'm going to hand over to you.
Rhyfelwyr Esyllwg.
I can do Rhyfelwyr, but yeah, this is always a mystery for me.
So there's not a single. Oh no, there is the E. Yeah, I was going to say there's no vowel, like English kind of vowels in it. It's very short, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite something. Like, I'm obviously Welsh and struggle with this, so I love the thought of the English players, or even, you know, they need to get to a high division, so sort of those Romanian GMs come over and have to get faced with this. Yeah. That'll sort them out. And with a name like this, I think it's only appropriate they only have Welsh players in their team.
What does the Division 3 Knights mean?
So...
hang on. This sounds like I've opened up a can of worms.
Yeah. So there used to be 2 Division 3s a long time ago. Well, there used to be North and South. Then there was North, South, and Central. And last season, they had Division 3 West and East. They said at the end of the season, teams will get promoted to Division 2. The next 12 will make Division 3, and everyone else will be in Division 4. The season finished, and then all the captains were like, "Oh, it's not fair. We're getting relegated." And I was like, "Well, should have finished in the top 12 then, shouldn't you?" So they just gave into them all and created 2 new Division 3s, called them Division 3 Knights and Division 3 Bishops. It's just, you know, pathetic, really. So we've got 2 divisions.
Is the Bishops just slightly better than the Knights, though?
It depends on the position. The other thing we didn't talk about is our name. If you go back a slide, Alex, I think we do need to broach this subject.
Our name. We had the audible checks. We had a little bit of a rebrand after last season. Went down from 2 to 1. Had a bit of a change. So I thought a new name was appropriate. A couple were thrown around. And yeah, this one came about from Mr. Douglas Spencer, who...
Oh, was it? I thought it was Will.
No, well, it was Will's suggestion, but it's Will's suggestion, but it's based on the actions of Dougie Spencer back in the day. We were in Division 2 at some point. I think it was the season we lost our first 10 games or something. We were really the worst team. And we played a match, and Dougie played some opening that went with like Bishop B4 check in the opening. And he went Bishop B4, and he didn't tell anyone he was going to do it. And he played Bishop B4, and he went check. His opponent went Bishop D2, and he went Bishop takes D2, and just went check even louder. And yeah, I think the whole team just exploded. It was quite special.
I'm going to have so much
question
fun.
for you, Alex. Who do you think's going to get the first check in this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
The first check or the first audible check?
Well, they have to be. They have to be audible.
The first check will be Jack, right? Because everyone else will be on move 4 and Jack's on move 30.
True, but will he audible it?
Probably not. I think he's quite respectful, Jack. Isn't he?
But we're called the audible checks. That's the point of our team name, so that when we do check, we say check.
I'm looking forward to you playing, John. I'm looking forward to it.
So get the decibel meter out to see how loud I can get it.
Well, yeah.
I'm just thinking I think I get a check in quite early on in most of my openings actually.
What, Pat's a C's check, Pat's a plays check, isn't it?
Most of the commonly played openings, I reckon. Yeah.
See, I think I'm the opposite. I don't think I ever check before I move 20. I don't develop any of my pieces, do I? I can't do any checking. But...
Oh, hang on. What's this? That's not true, is it, Sigma Duck? You have to say check when you get checked as well. Is that something you're allowed to do?
What, you get checked and just shout a check?
Just randomly shouting check. Just to make sure everybody knows that there's a check on this board.
We can confirm with our opponents. It's check, yeah? It's check.
It's going to be a fun season, isn't it?
It's going to be mental. Especially when I just get it right, get the timing right. I'll overdo it as per usual, so...
Yeah.
So have they strengthened Ravello?
So I think it's very much the same players they had last season. I'm not sure about Robert Rees. I'm not sure. Johan, any relation?
I mean, I think all Reeses are related somehow, but I don't know Robert.
Okay, so we'll say no. But it's probably worth noting. I think of all the teams in Fuensel, this is the one I've got the worst score against. Like, so many of their team have got a plus score against me, so there's no excuse for them not getting promoted. Really. And what I'll say actually about this team, it's interesting because in Division 2 they would actually be more dangerous than in Division 3 because they've got a woman as one of their stronger players. So you get promoted, you don't have to change your team, right? And you're not giving away rating points.
So it's not a requirement down.
Not a requirement. There's 6 boards and they don't need a woman player. So, yeah, but I think if they can get out these top guys, I think they've got every chance to be competitive in Division 3. So,
how competitive are they? Have they got a real good chance to get promoted, do you think? Or
I think last season they were only 1 place off getting promoted. They finished 3rd in their division. It was top 2 to go up. So
wow,
narrowed. And I think they were a bit robbed as well because they beat Guildford, who then rage quit the league. So then everybody beat them by default, which made them so it was one of the other things that was really annoying last season. And yeah, FNCL gave in to the captains who kicked up a stink. So
that's quite a common thing then, that like the FNCL just change the rules every now and again, even though they said they were going to do one thing.
Oh yeah, the captains are nightmares, a lot of them. And they always send blanket emails as well, which go straight in the bin when I get them. So anyway, moving on to Division 4, we've got 2 Welsh teams now. We've got the Full Ponzi.
Great name.
Yeah, of course, great.
That's just got to be the best team name ever, isn't it? It's brilliant.
I think so, and I imagine they're probably maybe the longest serving Welsh team in FNCL. They've always been there, to my knowledge, so I guess so. They do have an Englishman in there, even though they used to live in Wales for a very long time, but it just doesn't look the same as Ravel. We are having that Englishman in there. A ton of players over 1900 should be business end of Division 4, I'd imagine.
I mean, to be honest, the top half of that doesn't look too far off from what Ravel had, right? I mean,
yeah,
Lee Davies, 1925, board 7.
Oh, Lee Davies, yeah. Lee usually plays on top board for them. I mean, it's one of those where I've not seen David Vaughan play for them for many years, or John Gilbert. They seem to have the same squad every year, but it's they have most of the same people playing each weekend. But yeah, they're a good bunch, so hopefully they'll do well.
Alex, just a quick question there. There's a few stars in that junior kind of part.
Yes.
They're not juniors.
I know that, but I cannot answer the question about what the stars mean. If we go back to us, Daniel has got a star next to his name, and I think it might mean they don't know if they're juniors. But I don't know why they wouldn't know. Because, I mean, these ones, they're both young, Daniel and Eunice. I mean, without being rude, Tony Hughes, Chris Dixon, these players are not young, so they should know by looking at their date of birth that they're. So I don't know what the star means, but
excellent organisation. That.
I mean, even if I asked, oh hello, they've got all stars by then.
Yeah, full stars. These are fully juniored.
To be decided. Is that the team name?
So, to be decided is that the final Welsh team will be looking at, and apparently they entered called to be decided, and the arbiters have been emailing their captain asking if they've decided what their team will be called.
But that's their actual team name. Fantastic. Well done.
To which the captain, Ifan, has said, that's our team name.
Well done, Ifan. Well done. That's great.
It's 1-0. They've already won this season just by doing that. And I mean,
no matter how many checks we do, they've won.
Pretty much. And I think he's got a few players out of retirement here as well. I mean, when did Venetia last play chess is an interesting question. And Chirag I've not seen for a very long time as well. So good work on Ifan. And yeah, it's very much I mean, these players are young. They make us look like a right old team, don't they? We're basically like the middle-aged lot now. And
yeah, we are.
Oh, I mean, you two actually are middle-aged, yeah.
Oh.
I
mean, how old is Venetia? Because I feel like last time I saw her, she was 8. So that was a long time ago, I guess.
I reckon she'd be like 20 now.
Jeez,
she can't be
in uni, I think, at some point. She won't. She's not a kid. She's going to be like 19 or 20.
Wow.
Yeah, it's scary.
Time's gone. Do you know, we're talking about Forencial a lot. I think, Forencial is probably the same reason I'm still playing, because I was you or Matthew Parry or something would ask me to play now and then. And so all my games, in a 12-year period or something, were only in the Forencial, it seems. It's just drip, drip, drip. And then I was like, I'm just going to play again now.
Yeah, it's easier to play Forencial in the Weekend Congress, even though in the Weekend Congress you can actually win money and get more games for your money as well, and choose when it is as well. Venetia's born in 2005, so she's 18.
Oh, only 18.
Only 18. It's Shayana that will be older.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, good to see a new Welsh team there, and hopefully they'll have a good season.
In fact, Venetia will be board 2 there, wouldn't she, on FIDE? Or?
Yeah, 1930. Yeah.
FIDE ratings are way off.
They'll put it a bit lower, but yeah, interesting mix of players.
Look at Chirag's FIDE rating compared to his ECF rating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1799.
None of the adults are going to want to play this team.
No, probably not.
Look at Ben Larkin. Look at his FIDE rating compared to his ECF rating.
Oh, he's the guy who cheated, isn't he?
Yeah, I swindled him.
What country is JCI, by the way?
They're a small nation. I'll give you a clue.
Is it Jersey?
Yes, Jersey. Because it's Jersey Channel Islands, GCI.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
Look at that knowledge I've got.
It's got it all.
And we can't go through every Welsh player. We've looked at the Welsh teams, but in total, there's 52 Welsh players across 15 teams. And they're featured. So we got these teams all have Welsh players registered with them. And I know Gary Sleggs had 2 shout-outs on this stream already. So if he's watching, I'll give him a third one by pointing out that he's for Shropshire and Friends. I haven't forgiven him because he got a win against my team last season. So, yeah, luckily we won't be able to play against them this time around. But good luck to all Welsh players. It's a good opportunity to get one over English players, which is why we go to CL. So, yeah, that brings an end to this section. So I've just got one last thing to say, and that is...
Right. Thank you very much, Alex, for your 4NCL update. And yeah, great. I look forward to seeing how well we do this weekend. Because team lists haven't been submitted yet, have they, Alex?
Well, they have been submitted.
Oh, they have, but they've not been revealed?
In 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Okay, so, but they're not going to be revealed, though, until the day, right? On Saturday.
Correct.
So we don't want to give away our board order and everything else. Okay, right. Well, we've got 5 minutes left, but we might go over a little bit because I believe, Johan, you actually started to play a proper opening as black, or was it as white? I don't know.
No, it was as white.
No. Oh, it was white. Okay. Well,
yeah. You started like some free coaching from the French maestro.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. This is because I want to see what your opponents did as well. I'm quite interested because one thing that I've been doing with the French is actually, I've been meaning to sit down and actually look at the Grand Swiss games in the French and really go through it. There's a game that Bartel lost against, I think it was Richard Rapport, that's really interesting, and Bartel very quickly sacked a piece for activity and just didn't look right. Looked like he had some activity, but not enough in an advanced French. And I think that's where a lot of people are going now. But there's a lot of draws. The French held up really well in the Grand Swiss, actually. But it was really revealing when you look at the percentages. In the Grand Swiss, it's all E5 and C5 in the open section. There's a few Caros and a few Frenches dotted about. Caro may be slightly more popular, actually, Alex, than the French. But in the women's section, it's a bit more varied. You've even got some G6s in there and some crazy stuff. But I haven't quite done a complete stats analysis of it yet, because also the Sicilians, we should probably split up into different Sicilians, shouldn't we? So, and go from there. Right, have you got your screen shared, Johan? Let's have a look. What have you loaded up? What games?
New Frenches. I'm trying to think which one's the best. Right, where am I going to get the best value for money from John?
Well, hang on a minute. We've got a great comment that me and Alex can just discuss here. I don't think good players play the Caro. Do you know what? I agree.
Now, if we're going to put silly comments in the chat, then we're going to have to try and boot that person. How do we block someone?
You can't.
That's not acceptable. That's not.
You can't. I have.
People send abusive messages in the chat. That's disgraceful.
I have the power. You actually forced it on people in your club when you had a Caro tournament. That's how disgraceful you are.
And it was the most attended event, I think, of the ones I went to.
They had to turn up on us. They were out the team. Right, go on then. Johan, what happened here?
This is the first round then, and it was well uncomfortable. Like, I don't play E4, and I just thought I'd play E4 just for a laugh and to get some dodgy data on the system. So when people are trying to prepare for me.
Yep, that's exactly what we all do.
So I thought I'd play E4, and then the person played the French, and I thought, I hate the French, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I played this.
Okay.
As you said, like, I just noticed a lot of people are playing it, aren't they? The advanced. So
yeah.
So I didn't really know where to put my pieces. So maybe you can sort of tell me what I did wrong, John.
Yeah, Queen B6 is already like a big crossroads about whether to go Queen B6 or not. Yeah, Bishop E2 is fine. This is just main line at the moment. Bishop D7 is that's a little. Bishop D7 is not necessarily wrong. But he's got to be careful here because instead of castling, you could take on C5 at that point.
Okay.
Because when they take back, you can then castle in response to the bishop takes on C5.
Yeah.
And then you get that position where you can like go B4, A4 if black's not careful. So black has to play A5 against it to prevent B4. And actually that can be a bit of a nasty way of doing it. So the problem is that black would normally take on D4 first.
Right.
And then if you take back, then you have the ability to play knight C3, which you don't have. So there's that kind of like, who takes first, really? First? Yeah. Okay. Who gives in? Who's going to...
There you go. That's sort of 30 years of French knowledge coming out here now. So you played A5, and I put my knight out here.
Yeah, I mean, A5, I used to actually do that myself and go A5, A4, A3, and quite like it. But yeah, knight A3 is just super solid stuff, and to put the knight on C2, but of course B5 is not.
it could come in there or back here even, I thought. So yeah, they took here and I took back, and then they doubled my pawns. But I was kind of happy about that because it kind of opens the B file and gives me a bishop pair.
Yeah, that's exactly how the game Rapport Bartel, or was it Bartus, went actually. Instead of A5, I think, or Rook C8 was played, I think, or no, it was A6 and H6 actually. And the queen might have been back on D8, but they took on D4 and then took on A3. So yeah.
So I just thought I'd just put some piecing on some normal squares. I played this because I think if they castle, there's some options about the Greek gift, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, black doesn't have many pieces on the king's side, so I thought I'd eye that up.
I think, hang on, I think so. So already here, I think that black's maybe not played it quite perfectly here, and black has to be very careful in this position. And this is the problem with the French. If you're playing it, is that you have actually just played normal moves, but you've got a good position. I'm pretty sure Carlson had a game in it recently where he just played normal moves. Was it against Ravi Harrier? Just played a normal opening and then just moved his rook to C1, put his bishop back to B1, and just kept his pieces active, and then eventually he got a little bit of an advantage and was able to press it, and a mistake from Ravi. But here, black has to be so careful that he's not completely passive, because he's got to get knight A5, knight C4 in quickly. But I'm just really worried about his queen positioning, or something like that. And with your rook being on B1 now, he's got no kind of bishop B5 ideas. That's just completely gone, especially with the pawn being on A4 and not on A6. So I'm really worried if he plays H6 and castles. If you can get queen forward, rook FC1, G4, H4 going, black's got nothing and is going to struggle for activity.
And that's what I was hoping. Even though I hate playing against the French and don't know where my pieces are going, I was like, okay, I think I can kind of see where I should put them. So I put queen here just to bring the rook in. I thought I would take that because I don't know, maybe it wasn't a great move, but his bishop's a bit rubbish, isn't it? So I thought I'd sort of leave him with that.
I mean, I guess maybe instead of queen E2, you could have played G4. Or bishop D3, maybe G4 instead of that. G4 is a very common move.
Yeah.
H5, you might think that black
doesn't like it, I suppose, but
yeah, H5 isn't really that dangerous though. You just go H3. Black actually doesn't have that much of an attack down your H file. You just play King G2 and Rook H1 if need be. And black has, unless they tiptoe their way through, they're not going Knight G6 because then you would take it. F6. F6 is opening up the center where black's king is. So
well, I just thought it might bring the queen in.
Yeah, I mean it might do, and yeah, that's where the game's going to revolve around. But that's the way.
Sorry, actually, F5 even maybe better. Yeah, maybe.
I can take that with the G pawn though, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I thought I'd go with the more positional route, and I thought my knight's not doing anything now, so I thought let's bring him in like here, maybe, or there. So. This bishop is just terrible, isn't it? It's just a French bishop. Although you'll see what I do with it later. I'm like, come into my position, please.
Well, the thing is that there's quite a few lines here in the French. That's why bishop D7 was a little question mark, because sometimes you can put a knight on F5, it gets taken, and you want to go bishop E6 in one move. And we know it's a bad bishop. We accept it. But it's actually supporting everything that you can work around. So the one move here that I'd be liking to see is something like, I don't know, G5, for example, for black.
Yeah.
That's what black has to do. G5, F4. That's what you should be doing.
Practically force.
Oh, you forced that. All right.
In time trouble, I kind of like, oh, come forward, yeah. So I suppose time-wise, it's not too bad at the moment.
He blunders that way, doesn't he?
Well, this is where I would start, unfortunately, I think all of us are always a little bit suspicious, right, when we're playing. And I was like, queen D8, you can't be blundering that B7 pawn. That's not a blunder. And, it's a bit suspicious as if it is a good move, right? Because it's just a weird move to play. So, it was the first round titles Tuesday playing someone quite low rated. I was starting to get get worried. So, so they just let me take it to get the knight in here. So I actually think it's probably quite a good move.
All right, okay.
Because, essentially, like you said, they can't do anything here. They're not moving, and they're just waiting to lose slowly. But by doing that move, getting me to take here, then like the knight gets into c4 quite quickly.
Okay.
So I thought it was quite clever.
It's interesting to know whether your a pawn's been doubled and stuff, isn't it? It's quite good.
So I played a move that the computer loves now, bishop c1. Yeah. The computer was like, oh, great move. So the plan was just to put everything on dark squares and hope for the best. Maybe round up that a pawn. That was my plan. If you can make plans with 2 minutes on your clock. And then they undoubled my pawns. And then I was getting even more suspicious because I was like, that's a weird move to play, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. You don't do that.
Why would you do that? So when people play like weird non-human moves, then I don't think you're rubbish. I think you're cheating.
But hang on, Johan, hang on. Are you playing against a national master there, is it? Or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So but obviously at this point you don't know the evaluation, and just things were getting worse and worse, like for me, while I thought I was playing okay. Not amazing, but okay. So a3, I thought I don't want to get back rank mated.
No.
But this actually is like quite unpleasant. When you've only got 1 minute 45 and you have to work out how to make progress. It's actually quite unpleasant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite weird how to give away that pawn and play a3 and then invade with the queen. Nobody does that. Nobody would solve your a pawn issue.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think you wouldn't think to play like this. So I thought I'm in trouble here. I'm going to lose some computer. But so I played king h2, prophylactic move. It's going to go there at some point. It's black square, and then g5. Knight c5, queen d1, and then I took the a pawn, which apparently is a bad move. Isn't that weird?
That is very weird. But can't you take on d4? Is that the point?
No, I don't think that's the point. I think the point is I think it's knight d2.
Oh, a knight f1 check is mating that.
And I think it's a draw.
Well, you can play f4 as well and get knight g3 and protect.
Well, the eval bar basically says equal, so I assume there's basically a perpetual or something.
Yeah.
Here. So because I think I can come back and block, or potentially I don't know.
Yeah, you can do that, and he repeats to d1 and f1.
So you go to queen e2. Oh no, so queen e2 is the right move. Sorry,
is it?
Yeah, the queen e2. So this is why I'm super suspicious about this game, because there's some weird moves being played, right? Like I would not be playing queen e2. I'd be playing knight e2.
I don't even get the point of queen e2.
Yeah.
I mean, the comments now, you are going to get yourself banned if you keep playing.
To be fair, that if there was a benefit of the doubt for someone not cheating, then basically, French players are a bit weird, aren't they? You play these annoying active moves, and can't you just lose in peace?
Hang on, queen e2 is just completely crazy. I mean, the fact he can take on a3 and then take on d4.
Yeah.
To me, that just looks like. I mean, queen e2. The only way you can get out of it is because he at least attacks the f2 pawn.
Yeah.
So it is just a simple attack.
Also, just to prove, this is another thing where I'm like, right, someone's cheating if they play this move. My best move in this position, you would never get it, and the move I played was not it.
Bishop c1.
What's that last move you're going to be playing?
h4, g4,
f4.
Knight takes bishop.
Knight takes bishop. I was going to say that.
You've got this great knight, this awful bishop, and it's like the computer's like, well, it's obvious you've got to take that bishop. So
it gives it a nice pawn structure as well.
I know. I just find that insane. Like a human is never going to be playing that move.
Clean up the c file though, so you can go queen c8 check if the knight moves. And
But what you're doing,
don't know.
You know, if your queen goes in, you're not mating, and like I don't understand it. I didn't bother looking at it. I'd never find that in a game. I played knight d3. I think that makes sense to, you know, basically bring a defender back and guard this guy. So takes queen b1, and I thought, you know, I'm just trying to defend, but that's just inviting that.
I mean, this guy's rated 2193, yet you were beating up like 2800s before. I mean, it just goes to show, though, doesn't it? Because I think he's played really, really well here. For, you know, considering the rating's 2193 and you're 2576, you know, it's a massive difference in rating. Yet actually, the standard is not that different, really, is it?
Well, this is a lot of odd moves, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
So basically, like at this point, I was, I'm dead now, aren't I? Come on,
just finish me off.
You know. Actually, things were going downhill. So, but you know, carry on defending. And then he played bishop d3, and I thought, oh, thank you.
What?
I love that. So, yeah. So basically, I win now.
So you were getting absolutely pasted by.
Actually, I was never worse than equal.
Okay, but it didn't look that way.
Yeah, I kind of felt that. So I basically sacked my piece back just for an easy conversion. So
yeah, that doesn't look that easy, by the way. Oh, is it checkmate coming? Oh, okay, queen g8, queen e8, yeah. But
you know, there's no checks, and then this pawn's going basically. So all mate, yeah. But yeah, French, hate the French. That's why I don't play e4.
I think it's very difficult to play the French. Has he gone? Is he actually just
dropped it? That's why I don't play e4.
He says I don't play e4. Quit and left. Well, that brings us to the end of that part. Then he's not going to show me another game, and we're probably out of time. Yeah, so we'll message you later to see if he's okay. Oh, he's back. He's back. He's not left us completely.
I think I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, I think you did. So it must have been your gloves slipping or something. All right. I mean, really interesting French game. I was just about to say, actually, it's quite difficult to play that as black online in Blitz. I find it difficult to play. I think I need time to think about how to make sure that you get counterplay. So I do find it. I think it's easier to play for white and just play simple moves, and you actually effectively are just better if black doesn't generate something, which is why you have to spend so much time when you play the French to make sure you get that counterplay. Final thoughts, guys. Alex, final thoughts on the week in view. Anything apart from Florentiel coming up, or is that your focus? Any rallying cry you want to say?
Well, I mean, that's my focus because obviously I'm being the manager of the team. It's not just about turning up and playing some game. It's like checking my emails, constantly hoping nobody's gone, oh, hi, Alex, I've got an issue and I can't do it. Well,
are you going to do a team talk?
Am I going to do a team talk?
Yeah.
So maybe something along the lines of, you know, make sure your checks allowed, and I haven't written the second part.
Take your time.
Yeah, this one I'm going to wheel out Ian Eustace to do the team talk. I'm not doing it myself. Special guest.
Yeah, I mean, I actually saw Ian, didn't I, last weekend?
You did?
So it's the Staffordshire under-18 team actually finished higher than the South Wales team. So my guys actually came third in a national competition, the National Youth Chess Association Championships. So I'm quite pleased about that, but obviously quite sad that the Welsh team didn't finish as high, because I'm also supporting them obviously at the same time. Johan, anything from you? You going to let Alex down at the weekend, or?
I'm looking forward to the weekend, so I'm looking forward to popping that blazer on and that thing. What's it called? The other thing?
The waistcoat.
Waistcoat.
How do you not know about waistcoats?
I'm not posh enough, am I right? So
posh enough.
You can wear the gloves with the waistcoat, Johan.
Yeah, I'll bring the gloves. Yeah.
It's when he starts wearing the gloves and just the waistcoat. That's when you're going to worry. Maybe that's in the evening. Who knows?
Well, I think the room with the guy, that would be a nightmare.
We'll look forward to. We should get a triple next time. Ooh, can we do that? Do they have those rooms?
They do have triples, but
we should definitely do that.
We could do a stream from the.
Yes, we could, and we could all be there. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, we could do that. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for talking in the chat as well. Yeah, if you'd like to just give us a follow or a subscribe or a like, that helps us keep this channel going as well. But yeah, we'll report obviously next week on what actually happens at the Four Nations Chess League. But also, if you're in South Wales, you've got the West Wales Weekend Congress as well to enter. So please make sure you enter that. It'll be last minute now. And yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great week, everybody, and speak to you next week. Bye-bye.
goodbye.